friends, Kim from Stamping Imperfection. I'm here with a video for Maker Forte, and I'm playing with stenciling techniques today. And these are cards that I've made using some new techniques for me. And I've been playing with the Maker Forte stencils and products that Maker Forte actually has in their store. So I started out with this geometric cloud. This is a geometric rain cloud, and I was using their moon dust sugar sparkle glitter and some texture paste to create that card there. And I've also been playing, like, I am absolutely in love with these Jess Francisco Maker Forte all season sentiments. They're cut apart sentiments, and I've used them on all my cards lately. So you'll see those sentiments on my cards. I just love them. You get 24 sheets. They're double-sided. They come with white backgrounds and black lettering, and the other side is black backgrounds with white lettering. So I love them. Super simple. And the second technique that I played with was foiling. I have had some foiling supplies for a while that I actually got. I won a gift card from Therm-O-Web, and Therm-O-Web generously sent me some foiling products that I have not tried. And Maker Forte has the foiling products in their store. And I just had to play with them because I just felt like doing stenciling techniques today. I love mixed media, so anytime I have time to play with it, I do. So the first thing I'm going to do, I have a piece of cardstock. I cut this down to 4¼ by 5½. And this geometric rain cloud stencil comes in two pieces. This is the Ranger texture paste, and it's transparent gloss, which means it dries clear and it's got a shiny look when it's done. So I just use my palette knife to scoop a bunch of that out. And then I have this beautiful, this is like iridescent, they call it moon dust or holographic moon dust. Is beautiful. So I put 2 generous scoops there, and I'm still getting the hang of closing these. Like, you have to put the lid on all the way and then turn it like a quarter of a turn. So I just mix that glitter in with that texture paste really well, and I put a generous amount because I really want these clouds to look silver and very sparkly. I love sparkle on a project. I think sparkle, shine, or a metallic element really add something to every project you do. So I did the geometric part of that stencil, and then I removed the clouds so I could do the raindrops because I love them. But I'm being very careful not to touch that top part of the stencil that I just did, the geometric part. And I use most of the stuff that I created there. And now the trick is I just did that like a flap so I could just lift it right up. The trick is to put this aside and let it dry at least an hour. It needs at least an hour. And if it's not dry when you come back in an hour, then go have lunch. I usually go for a bike ride or I go have lunch. And you also need to immediately clean up your stencils, your mat, and your palette knife. So I immediately cleaned that up. And then when my stuff was dry after my bike ride, I went for a nice long bike ride. I pulled out some Catherine Pooler ink. It's a boy. It's a nice light color for a sky, so I like it. And I was trying to get it a little bit darker toward the top of the cloud and lighten on the way down. I was trying for a sort of ombre effect. I love this color. Like, it's just so pretty. And I'm going right over the top of that beautiful dried texture paste with all that glitter in it. And I'm just lightening it up as I go down. I'm trying to sort of leave the bottom almost white. I'm practicing a light hand here at the bottom. And this card is so simple. You saw how quickly I mixed the paste with the glitter and put it on, and cleaning my stencil off was probably the worst part. And I always do that in my utility sink. And then, of course, a little bit of ink blending once it's dry. And that finishes off that top panel of the card. So all I have to do is attach it to a card base. Now my card base is 4¼ by 11. I'm going to score and fold it at 5½. And I'm using this fabulous Maker Forte bone folder. I love how pointy this is. This is a really nice Teflon bone folder. It's very pointy. And I'm just going to attach that to that card base. I'm just going to use liquid glue. Liquid glue gives me a little time to play, and I really like this Tombow. Like, this is my old standby, this Tombow, multi-liquid glue, because it allows me to wiggle things around. Some of the newer glues don't allow you any time. So when I know I need to get something straight, I'm going to use that liquid glue. Now I'm going to pull out the sentiments, and I love these sentiments. And I actually pull out, I forget which sentiment I use. Great Rain sentiments, but I've already used those on cards. So, and I think if you saw like my last Maker Forte video, you saw the really nice rain. Learn to Dance in the Rain, I think it was. It was really pretty. But I'm just going to use Spring Blessings because I think it's really pretty. And I liked the black with the white sentiment this time. And I love that they've pretty much set them up so you can just cut a row out and then, cut it apart. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back and attach this to my card front. And then I'm going to add some of their crown jewels. They have these fantastic embellishments called crown jewel gems. And I have their Vegas strip crown jewels, and I love them. And you get a ton in a container. Like, this container is really full. And I'm using the, I think this is called In the Hook, or something like that. These tweezers are fantastic for picking them up. And like, these are the best tweezers I've ever had for picking up tiny little gems, because they have a very skinny little hooked end and they work amazingly well. And their tools are so pretty. They're this rainbow color. This is the Magic Wand Jewel Picker Craft Pick. It's a 2-in-1 tool, and I love this tool also. You saw how easily it picks those up. Like, it's really nice. And they have a nice sweeper brush that cleans everything up, which I didn't need to use here. So that completes that card. Now I'm going to move on to the foil ones. So I've pulled out, you can see I have a nice collection of Maker Forte stencils. So I'm having a lot of fun playing with those. And I have these great supplies. Like, I'm telling you, when I got this gift card from Therm-O-Web I actually took a class at the Stamp Nation, and they pick a winner at the end of the class, and it was a generous gift card, and Therm-O-Web even sent me more things than I asked for. And they didn't send me all of this. A couple of these things I had gotten in craft kits. So, I got a couple on clearance too at like a craft store a while ago. I just really only knew one technique to use them, but Therm-O-Web has come out with some great products. And these are all from an old craft kit, or several old craft kits. So I got some flock to play with, and I got some different foils, and Therm-O-Web tossed in this is a 2-pack of their stencil pail, and this is a pretty nice little tool for spreading the paste, and I'm gonna play with this. So I'm going to show you how I put the transfer gel on. Now I got this transfer gel duo. I got a couple different transfer gels, and the transfer gel duo can be, they call it Duo because you can use it without heat with your die cutting machine, or you can use it with heat and put it through a laminator. So I have never tried foiling without a laminator. I wanted to try that. So that's what I'm doing here. So I just have some pre-cut papers here, and I'm pulling out a couple of different stencils, and I end up not using this one for this project because I wanted to flock this one. And let me just see if I can find the name of that one. This particular one is called, this is from Alex Siberia Designs. It's called Night Garden. And I wanted to see, I was trying to see what would happen when you have that much stencil. And so, which means I'm going to have a lot of open space. I'll have a little bit of paste and a lot of open space. So I wanted to see what that looked like. That will be for a different day because I didn't have my laminator out. This one, I love this stencil. This is called, do they call this Seashore? This is, I think this one's called Seashore. Yep, this is Seashore. This is a Hedgehog Hollow design, and I think it's super pretty. Like, I think it's really pretty. So I'm opening this transfer gel for the first time. And again, this is the Duo, which can be used with or without heat. So if you don't have a laminator or a Mink machine or whatever else, you don't need one. You can actually send this through your Big Shot or whatever die cutting machine you use. I have a fold away Big Shot here, so that's what I'll be using. So I'm just trying to cover this whole thing, and I'm trying the different sides of this stencil pail to see which one I like the best. I kind of liked the flat side instead of the curved side, and I needed a little bit more of the transfer gel. Start with a little, you can always add more. And you can put this back in, like, you know, you can scoop up any extra and put it back in the container, which is kind of nice. But I'm just playing around with two at once here and just trying to fill them all in. And that's all you have to do. Then the key is pull that stencil off without disturbing your transfer gel, and put it on a board or something and put it aside. It needs, the package says it needs at least an hour to dry or until it's clear. It's going to depend on your humidity. It was a little bit humid here today, so it took more than an hour for this to dry. So I had lunch and went for a bike ride. So I did that to all four of the stencils that I wanted to use, and then let those dry, and I'll show you how that turns out. So these are really shiny, and it is pretty clear. Like you can see, that is now very clear. And I probably should have done it on colored cardstock, because you can do this on colored cardstock too. And I'm going to pull a piece of this rainbowy transfer foil that I have. Like, I have this package. It's been in my stash for a while. It came with a kit. I wasn't sure how to add it besides using, you can use double-sided adhesive to add foil touches, and basically that's how I've been doing it. So you don't get a lot of foil on your project that way, but this way you get a ton of foil. So you just put it between your Big Shot cutting plates or your die cutting, any die cutter will work, and run it through your machine. Now I ran this through one way and then back the other way. Just do it once. Don't go back the other way, because I got some crinkles in there. And also, this is a pretty new die cutter, so those plates actually have marks from the dies that I've used, and that actually transferred to the project. I can see that in the foil, so I was kind of disappointed in that. So run it through just one time, and it's so pretty. Now, this one didn't come out perfect, but that's okay, because I'm going to trim down the edges. And I did try to see if I could transfer a little bit more of that with my bone folder, and that didn't really work. I think there were just a couple spots I didn't get enough of the transfer gel. And so I'm just going to trim that panel down, and the same thing with this one. And I did this with all, with 3 out of the 4 that I did. Now this piece I'm going to save because I can use that for something else. Like somebody recommended using that part for like a shaker card. That would be the plastic part of the shaker card. And so I just trimmed all these pieces down, mounted them on a card base, and then I added a cut apart sentiment from the All Season Sentiments that Maker Forte has. I think those things are genius. They're saving me a bunch of time with, I'm actually getting lazy about creating sentiment strips now. And the variety of sentiments they have in the All Seasons one is amazing. They work for all year. And they have sentiments, like they have a birthday set and a just because set and a sympathy set and like, you know, all kinds of other sets of these specific for those holidays. I'll put the links below to all the materials that I used, and I would love it if you could give this video a thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed, it would mean so much to me if you subscribed and clicked that bell to get notifications every time I upload a new video. Thank you.